Spoiler Sleepover is sponsored by Willow Tree Kitchen.
Willow Tree Kitchen is a one-woman owned and operated bakery currently slinging delicious vegan cookies, mixes, and baked goods out of Kitchen Local in Amesbury, Mass.
Follow Willow Tree Kitchen _ on Instagram or go to their website at willowtreekitchen.com for more.
Greetings, ladies, gents, and our non-binary friends. Welcome to Spoiler Sleepover, part of the Nerdcat Network. Join your hosts, Jason, Michael, and Rob, as they bring you on a slash-tastic adventure through cinema. Now, enjoy the show. It will be a real scream of a time.
Hi, folks! We're back! Rob.
Welcome back, everybody, to Spoiler Sleepover.
Woo!
Well, the rules are made up and the points don't matter.
You're goddamn right.
I'm Rob.
And I'm Jason Michael.
Yeah, we're back for another Top 3 episode. We're back into the top 3s, back onto one of my top 3s, my personal favorites, actually the tail end of my top 3s. We're just going to be jumping straight in to an entire franchise, and this franchise is like fully connected. There's not just like, hey, that actor is also in this movie. No, this is like, here's a storyline, and there's a TV show, which we're going to figure out something to do, because even here, we still don't know how we're going to touch it. But
nope.
Before we get into any of that, let's jump into a little what's been keeping us up at night.
Yay! This past week, I have been hopping back onto the train of watching through the MCU, which also includes not MCU. So I watched the first Fantastic Four and then put it down for a while, then came back and watched the second Fantastic Four. Now,
which is not fantastic.
I don't remember not liking it. And then watching it back, I still believe that there was something special about these movies when we got them, and I feel like we did not appreciate them when we had them.
All right.
Hang on. If you take some of the stuff that's in the MCU now, and it's like constantly insufferable humor that is just funny to the writers, versus some of the stuff that's like, I could see that happening in the comic books. According to, I'm just gonna pull this one because I know a lot of people didn't like it. She-Hulk, but the writer of She-Hulk, like the comic, came out and said this is damn near identical to the comics.
Yeah,
which is great, but at the same point, it felt very just eat the woke humor. It's like, oh. So I feel like when in 2004 and all that, when we had it, I feel like Fantastic Four and Rise of the Silver Surfer were fantastic. Fucking Doug Jones as the Silver Surfer is incredible. There's a lot of details of Galactus. First off, I don't like the Cloud. Understandable. But there's a lot of details of Galactus I didn't notice before. Like when he is a cloud and his shadow's going over different planets, you can see his helmet outline, which is fucking wicked. And then I went back and rewatched, and I'm so ready for this and so excited for it, the first X-Men, which, first off, Tyler Mane as Sabretooth scared the shit out of me for years. And then he came to be Michael Myers in Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2. He's terrifying. And I don't want to get into any possible spoilers. I've only heard rumors about Deadpool 3 with possibility of Tyler Mane.
Oh, shit.
So if he's there, I'm more than here for it. But as of right now, I've done Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, X-Men, and I'm about to do X2, which I remember not honestly liking X2. So maybe, again, it's just something I need to watch with age.
Yeah.
I remember liking X-Men The Last Stand, and I know people hated that, so we'll see on that one.
I think, honestly, going back to the Fantastic Fours, I think that the issue, or not the issue per se, but I think why so many people hated those movies so much was the fact that they almost did completely away with the comic books. And like,
Mhm.
we're like, oh, we're just going to make up our own lore and just do what we want the best we can with
Yeah.
what we have. And they also don't look great, but
No, I mean, there's totally like super cheesy CGI, but again, it was like early 2000s.
right. I mean, for me, it's the Ben Grimm being like, looking like a pile of orange peels that really bothers me. But
he was practical. He was practical.
Which
versus
is
fan
way
four
better
stick.
than those. Yeah, those ones are fucking terrible. I arguably at this point with the actual MCU versus the original like old school, hey, we're starting to come to age and make more comic book movies.
Yeah.
At this time, I would much rather take those over what we currently have. It's too convoluted, it's too much, it's too over the top, it's too this, it's too that, and it's just not entertaining to me anymore. I mean, not that it had been. Like, Iron Man 1 and 2 were fucking fantastic. The Incredible Hulk with Ed Norton was fucking fantastic.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
But then once we started getting deeper, like Iron Man 3 was a fucking pile of shit. That movie wasn't good at all. And we immediately did away with practical. Like, what happened to the practical, man? Like, oh, we're just CGIing every fucking thing now.
I will say, for some strange reason, it popped up on my For You page on like YouTube, and I just started watching it, and then it popped up more. Crowd reactions for opening nights of Infinity War and Endgame, which I was there for. What a time in cinematic history, dude. I'm saying, I'm holy shit. Being there on opening nights for both of those movies was just something you had to be there for. And I was there for No Way Home's opening night. What a fucking masterpiece that is. And Multiverse of Madness. I was there for opening night of that. I don't give a shit what you say. Multiverse of Madness is awesome.
Yeah, it was. I hated the first Doctor Strange movie. It was Inception. It was Marvel's Inception. That's what that movie was. It was.
A lot
terrible.
of the trippy shit, like especially that scene where they're like running down the street and then the buildings just start flipping. I think it's with the ancient one. My brain
Inception.
wanted to vomit.
That's what
like
the movie
there's
was.
some scary shit in that, like Doctor Strange at the end when it's literally just the demonic souls that are his cape. That is the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. Right behind Captain America holding Mjolnir. But besides that,
that is a cool moment.
And then all three Spider-Men.
But, all right, what else have you been watching? Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, dude.
Dang. I mean, that's a hell of a lot of watching, but...
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've had a kind of a full / light week, I guess. I watched all 3 seasons of the show called Loudermilk, which is the main character's last name. His name is Sam Loudermilk.
Shit. Somebody told me about this.
It was me.
Probably.
Yeah, it's really good. It is just fantastic. For somebody who is, sober and clean, being myself, it is one of the very closest representations to people in the recovery community. It's just also very well written, very well acted, and it's not canceled. The last season aired in 2020, but it wasn't canceled. Yeah, so here's a question I have to ask you.
Okay.
Were you aware that at one point in time, back in 2017, AT&T had their own streaming network?
Excuse me?
I didn't know that.
Excuse me?
Yeah, so the first season of Loudermilk was AT&T's like one of their like flagship shows apparently, and it's not that the show was bad, it just AT&T trying to start a streaming thing just seemed stupid, so it doesn't exist. But Prime ended up picking up the show, carried it for 2 more seasons, and the last season 3 aired in 2020. And I looked it up recently, and I guess there's still talks of doing more, but no definite start date or anything like that for it. So yeah, that's great. It's I forgot to lead with it, but fuck Netflix. It's on Netflix.
Again, Jesus.
Yeah. And keeping in the spirit of fuck Netflix, the 8th season of Queer Eye just got added. So I started watching that.
Wait, did you say 8th season?
8th season of Queer Eye.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah, I absolutely love the show. I've been watching it since its reinvention of what it is, because I hated the original Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. The original like televised series was terrible.
That's what I thought they used to be named. Did they just rebrand to Queer Eye?
Yeah, because they don't just Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. All they did was get 5 queer people and have them remake a straight guy, and that was about it. This one, they do like life rehauls on people, male, female, straight, gay, it doesn't matter. And the show's just beautiful. It's amazing. I love the crew. I'm so sad they announced about mid last year that one of the members is leaving. I mean, not for any bad reason. He's just moving forward in his life, so he's doing
with
something.
The long hair.
No,
damn. It's the only one I can remember.
Jonathan Van Ness. Other than that, if you are looking for something real fucking weird, and I mean real weird, jump over to Peacock and check out the newest show, In the Know. It is a stop-motion claymation show about public radio. They interview actual people, so it's claymation, and then it will cut to a computer screen, and it's an actual person, not claymation. It's different. I mean, they just took the Space Ghost Coast to Coast idea and then made it claymation with a bunch of insufferable characters. So I watched I watched the first 3 episodes, and I was like, I giggled a couple of times, but my big sell point on it was Mike Judge does one of the voices. So if you like Beavis and Butthead, like I do, I saw Mike Judge attached, and I was just like, all right, I'll give it a go. But he plays a character that barely speaks, so I was just like, well, damn it, son of a bitch. Yeah. So that's what's been keeping us up at night. Hit us up on Instagram or Facebook or Thread. We still have X.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really use it all that much, but might actually get rid of
anybody?
X. So, but yeah, hit us up and let us know what's been keeping you up at night.
Rob, you want to talk about some squiggly little thing in our ear called an earworm?
Heck, yes, I do.
So my squiggly little earworm for this week is something that's actually, it's a band that really got traction, I feel like, within the last year. Apparently they've been around for a while. I never heard of them. And then all of a sudden, TikTok and social media and things like that. And I'm not entirely sure how to feel about it. I've been listening to Sleep Token.
Oh.
And I don't really know how to feel. It was advertised as like a metal band. And then it's just, it doesn't know what the hell to do. It's like almost going down the Mr. Bungle path, but not anything like close to Mr. Bungle, just because it's like, we're here, we're doing this now. It's like, oh,
right.
I mean, there are some songs like they did a cover of Outkast's Hey Ya. I liked it. And then a song called The Summoning, which it starts off really cool, and then it goes to like a weird almost rap, and it's catchy. I enjoy those 2 songs. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that will catch my interest, but as of right now, it's a lot of trying to understand what's going on. But
yeah, so no specific album, just the band in general.
Just the band in general. It's not like a dig, and it's not a, hey, this is super duper cool. It's more of me exploring into different and new things. Okay. I originally didn't want to do it because I hate TikTok and I hate all of that social media things like that. Yeah. Like the trending stuff. Hence why I didn't watch Breaking Bad for the entire run of it coming out, and then after I did.
Same. I did the same thing.
But it's a new adventure, so I'm here for it.
Yeah, my partner's a big fan of Sleep Token. I am not.
I remember last year seeing an article about them for the first time, and it's like, could this be the next Slipknot? And I was like, huh? And then, yeah, it's definitely not the next Slipknot. But again, I'm trying a new thing, diving deep into it. Let's see what happens. All right, Rob.
So I'm actually in the same realm as you. I'm not giving a specific album this week. I'm giving a duo. They are called She Passed Away, not Passed, Past. She Passed Away. They are a dark new wave goth duo. So in the realm of like kind of if The Cure was really gothy and a lot more electronic. They're really good. Foreign group. My partner actually turned me on to them. They had showed up on one of like my daily mixes on Spotify at one point. I'd heard it and I heard it at work and I was like, whatever that was, it was really good. But being a chef, my hands are always busy, so I wasn't able to go back. And then my partner and I were hanging out and I heard the song in her car and I was like, whoa, who is this? Who is this? And she was like, She Passed Away. Do you know them? And I'm like, just this one song. And then we listened to a bunch of it. And I keep going back to them. It's great music. I really enjoy them a lot. So
I'm definitely going to have to check that out. Yeah.
Well, just like our What's Been Keeping Us Up at Night, hit us up and let us know what your earworms are this week. We want to know. Give us some new music. Tell one of us that we're wrong, that our music taste isn't that great. Neither of us will care because we like what we like and we listen to what we listen to, but we're always open to hear some new music.
You're damn right.
Well, that's what's been keeping us up at night. Hit us up and let us know what's been keeping you up at night. You can send us a message on Instagram or on our new fandangled Facebook.
That's a thing?
That's a thing. We've got Facebook now.
You're telling me we're on Facebook now?
Yeah, we've joined all the grannies out there who don't know how to message people. And I'm one of them because I've had Facebook in like 6 years, so I'm relearning. It's like inventing the wheel for me. I have no clue what I'm doing, but I'm working it out every day. Well, I have a little bit of a gonna stack into one thing for this little segment we like to call Creeping It Real. Well, it just got announced just a few days ago that it's happening. It is finally happening. Yeah, Prime. Amazon Prime. Has finally announced.
It's free.
That Mike Flanagan is doing the Dark Tower series.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I knew it was too good to be free. Damn it.
This harkens back, 2 seasons, maybe 3 seasons ago on Camp Nightmare. They were talking about, how cool would it be if this happened? And then they were like, it's been rumored that Mike Flanagan might do it. And then Prime said, we have nothing about that happening. We're not doing that.
Now he's got that Prime money.
It's happening. It is
the
officially
Amazon Prime
happening.
money, not the stupid fucking energy drink.
Prime's just a hydration drink. There isn't even caffeine in it.
It's a bunch of stupid is what it is. Anyway, go on.
It sure is. It's cred. Go watch the South Park special.
Fuck.
So Mike Flanagan's doing Stephen King's Dark Tower series, and it's going to be a series. So hopefully, we actually get something good. Now, here's my thing. I am not a Mike Flanagan fan. He's an amazing writer. He's an amazing director. He's just not the writer for me. He's far too winded and drags shit out too much, and it just bores me. Like, his directing is amazing. It's beautiful. It's haunting. He's great.
Mm-hmm.
He's great. Great. He's just not for me. So I'm really hoping him approaching the Dark Tower, he approaches it the way it needs to be. We need action. But we shall see. I mean, the first 2 books are kind of slow. So
I'm excited.
Maybe why he picked it up.
Like, I wasn't into King as much as my brother was, and like, I thoroughly enjoyed listening to Camp Nightmare's breakdown of the Dark Tower series. Like, it
Same.
made me actually want to read it or listen to it. But I think, honestly, in my mind, watching it would be the best form. Like, I rented the Dark Tower movie that had Idris
Garbage.
Elba in it, and then I just completely forgot about it and let the rental run out because I never had time and I just forgot about it. So,
Yeah. Yep. Well, that is my creeping it real. I mean, I think I can speak for both of us. We're both really excited to see this come to fruition and actually become a reality. There is no release date yet. It was just been confirmed. That is it. It is happening. That's all the news. So that's my creeping it real for the week. It was just Netflix centric. There wasn't a whole lot of news I was finding that was going like, yeah, this is cool. But yeah, so there's a go fuck yourself Netflix creeping it real for the week.
Jesus.
Well, we're jumping back into my top threes. Feels like it's been forever, but that's only because there's been a huge month break where we just did winter stuff.
Yeah.
It started right up with yours, and it's kind of bittersweet because this is the final episode of this month, and we're going to be jumping in and doing 1988's Child's Play.
Would this be a Christmas movie?
No, well, it snows, but it's Andy's birthday.
Oh, that's right. Fuck. It's the remake that I also haven't seen. That's on Christmas.
Yeah, and
that's right.
A lot of people shit on the remake. I really enjoyed it. It is what it is. I didn't go into it expecting anything other than what it was selling me, which was just evil AI, which has been done a bajillion times, but it doesn't mean that it's not good. Especially when Mark Hamill's at the helm.
See, that was my main driving point because I've never been fully into Child's Play, but I was like, ooh, Mark Hamill, you can honestly never go wrong. He's Luke Skywalker. He's in Metalocalypse. His voice is incredible.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
No, you can't. He does great. I love the voice he does for Chucky. It's
Bloody Legend of the Week, Mark Hamill, everybody.
At the top of the episode. We can't do that.
It's not Mark Hamill.
No.
Until the reboot.
This being the last episode of the month, we have something kind of fun coming up next month. So before we jump into the episode, Jason Michael's going to tell you what you guys are going to be hearing next month. So, Jason Michael, what are listeners going to hear next month?
So next month, for the month of February, there's 2 guests that are coming on and replacing Rob for a little bit of time because he's going to be off doing things and adventuring in the world. So me, myself, and 2 wonderful guests, both of which are coworkers of mine in the real world. So there will be 1 episode on a very specific movie, and then I will have that with 1 guest, and then I'll have another guest that will be talking with me about a trio of movies, a franchise that has more than just 3, but we're focusing on the core 3. So
core 3.
See, the 4th one hasn't come out yet. The 4th one is still sitting in fucking limbo.
Yep.
But we'll see whatever 2025 is apparently when it's coming out. We'll see what 2025 holds. We just fucking started 2024. God damn it. But yeah, that is the plan. For the month of February, it will be Jason and friends.
All right, so we're jumping into Child's Play. I absolutely love these movies. Now, you asked, is this a Christmas movie? And I said no, but it is snowing. Now, this is the thing. The Child's Play franchise, to me, are Christmas movies. And the reason that they're Christmas movies to me is because every year, except for this past year, when I sit down to wrap presents, I put on Child's Play. And I will take all the time I need to wrap presents because I watch all of the movies. It's normally the day before Christmas Eve or on Christmas Eve. I will watch all of the Child's Play movies. So to me, the Child's Play franchise is a Christmas franchise.
Okay.
Yeah. It's weird. I have my own little tradition. It's nobody else's. I do it alone. I started it by myself. So, Child's Play. We open up
Spider-Man movie.
A Spider-Man movie?
Yeah, Tom Holland did it.
I did see. I know that's no. Wrong.
Now that I've made that joke, my contribution to this episode is done.
I don't think he wasn't even born yet. I don't think.
Oh, fuck no! Are you kidding me?
Young buck. What was he? 90 something. I'm sure.
1996.
There you go. Tom Holland is 27. So we open outside, middle of the night in a city there is a police officer running after somebody, screaming at him, calling him the Strangler. The Strangler. It's a really odd name for a mobster, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah. It doesn't feel very mobby.
No, not at all. So the detective or police officer is chasing after him, and they are basically in a bit of a gun battle. We find out, not for a little bit, but it is Charles Lee Ray is the Strangler.
He tried running to his getaway car where his partner was.
Yeah, the getaway van.
Partner just sped off.
It's still one of those, like, the Strangler is the nickname for a serial killer, not a common criminal who's killed a bunch of people. So he busts into a toy store to try and hide from this gun-wielding officer, and inside the store, there's a whole lot of screaming and yelling, and that Charles Lee Ray is saying that he's going to kill him, and he gets shot in the leg, and then gets shot again, and he falls into a bunch of good guys' dolls, and he knows he's dying, so he goes, I've got to find someone. We don't know what he's talking about quite yet. As he's saying, I got to find somebody, he looks at the doll, and he goes, good enough. It's the look on his face. He places his hands on it, and he starts doing a voodoo chant, and the skies go crazy. There's lightning and big old storm clouds, and the most intense lightning blast I've ever seen in my life. It is insane. Blows up the store, basically, and somehow...
That is a big fucking explosion, too.
Yeah, somehow...
Like, I don't think the cops should survive.
No, he gets blown back from the explosion. Like, we see him inside. He gets blown back. And then he's fine.
Good
like,
old wire gag.
Just walks it off, man. He's like, yeah, all right, well.
Rub some dirt in it.
Yeah. So then we get cut to an apartment, a high-rise apartment in the city. And there is a little boy, Andy, who is making a heart attack of a breakfast. He's got sugary cereal, good guy cereal.
With extra sugar.
Yeah, he puts like 4 entire scoops of sugar into it. He burns the toast. He pulls both. Andy, this is how you know this kid's a fighter from the get-go. That toast is burnt to shit. It comes fresh out the toaster. He grabs both pieces of toast bare-handed and just walks over all casually and puts it down on the plate. That's some hot toast, bro. That kid is like 6 years old, and he's just grabbing toast with his bare hands. And he just puts a dollop of margarine on top of the toast. It's so nasty.
It's like an ice cream scoop looking thing of butter.
Literally. Well, he is made breakfast in bed for his mom, which is, you're like, oh, that's so sweet, until you find out that it's his birthday. So he's made breakfast in bed for his mom on his birthday. It is Andy's birthday, and he is just real amped. Tells his mom to get up, and he wants to open his birthday presents. He grabs the big box first, because it looks like it's the same shape as a good guy doll. But nope, it's fucking clothing. There you go. Here's clothes.
Just wait about 20 years. You'll appreciate that gift.
Dude, seriously, anytime I get like a good t-shirt, a decent hoodie, a nice flannel, a cardigan, I'm a cardigan whore. Get me a good cardigan as a gift. Oh, man, I'm rocking a cardigan right now. I love cardigans, especially when it's cold out. I also
get you like a name tag that says Rob Cardigan Whore.
Oh, my gosh. I'm here for it.
It's your business title. Put it on your business card.
I have like these old school styled like pins. My hair's all in the way so you can't see it. But I have a bunch of these pins, and they just have the faces of horror figures on them. So I put them on my cardigans. So currently this cardigan has Captain Spaulding on it. I have another one that has Jason on it. I got another one that's got Pinhead.
You have a pin for each cardigan?
Yeah.
That fucking rules. So that's your Spaulding cardigan right there.
This is my Spaulding cardigan. This is also my newest. Sick. It's my newest cardigan. I needed a new one, so nice black and gray. Very comfy. But Andy also gets a good guy's tool set, which he's obviously bummed out because he just wants a good guy. Well, we cut over to his mom, Karen. At work. She works at a department store, and her friend, Maggie, runs in and is just like, hey, didn't you want to get one of those good guy dolls for your kid? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, well, there's a peddler out back. He's got one. He's probably going to sell it for super cheap, so let's go. And so they go out there, and the dude is real sketchy looking, but He's got a good guy, and he asked
Minor
for
wear and
80.
tear on the box.
Yeah, there's a little wear and tear on the box. And he asked for 80, then Maggie talks him down to 20, and then he says 60, and then she's like, I'll take it.
How much do you think a good guy was going for?
So in 88, the biggest toys back then were Cabbage Patch dolls and Teddy Ruxpin. And so the good guy was supposed to be kind of like a mix of the two, because Teddy Ruxpin, quote unquote, talked. All you did was you put a cassette tape in its back and his mouth moved and the tape played the sound and he'd tell you stories.
Don't ruin the magic.
I mean, the magic's been ruined. It's 2020.
I didn't know.
Oh, the best was when I was a kid and I had my Teddy Ruxpin and I'd put in like the Wu-Tang Clan cassette tape.
Yeah. I've seen lots of memes about that where it's like people will put in fucking AC/DC into the back of it and it'll just start singing Highway to Hell. That part, whether they thought about it or not, was sick.
Oh, it's hilarious. I wish I still had it and I wish it still worked so I would do that. I would figure out a way to hook up a better speaker to it or something. So Karen ends up getting the good guy for Andy, which is great. So she goes back into work. She left her station all alone. She wasn't supposed to. And so her dickhead boss tells her that she's got to come in and cover for somebody later that night on her son's birthday. And she was like, but it's my son's birthday. Well, Maggie says, I'll watch him. And they're good friends. It's that sort of friendship where they're not related, but Andy calls her Aunt Maggie. So Karen goes home and they get upstairs and she says, hold on, Andy, I got something for you. And then hands him a brown paper wrapped box and just says, these aren't groceries. Who the fuck's carrying in groceries in a giant box like that?
It honestly would have made sense if she said, these aren't clothes.
Yeah, that would have made way more sense. It's just like, this isn't more clothing. Like, all right, but no, these aren't groceries. Like,
surprise, I spent our grocery money on a good guy's doll. Hey.
Yeah. Who's ready to eat oatmeal. You know what I find funny? I mean, I grew up at that age, not so well off. So sugary cereal was real expensive back in the day. Like, we had this discussion when we did our top 3 cereals. I ate fucking grape nuts, dude. Like,
Weetabix.
they were so cheap. So she's complaining about money throughout this movie, at least the beginning of the movie, and it's like, yeah, but here's all of this like sugary cereal and shit. Anyway,
4 scoops of sugar.
Dude, that's so much.
You ever chew on something like that and you could feel the granules in your teeth? Yeah, it's that shit. That's all I would imagine. You're not chewing the cereal, you're chewing the sugar.
So, not to go even further off topic, but at work we make macerated strawberries.
What the fuck is macerated?
And
why does it sound so brutal?
Yeah, it sounds either brutal or really gross.
Brutal.
Literally, all it is you take strawberries and you let them sit in sugar. That's it. The sugar breaks down. It pulls a lot of the flavor. It soaks into the strawberries. You get a nice strawberry syrup, but you get these really sugary, delicious strawberries as well.
Oh.
But the way we do them, we cut them frozen and then then add the sugar. So it has a longer period of time to like really break down with the sugars and stuff.
Yeah.
And generally about a couple hours after they've been sitting, I'll go in with a spoon and grab quite a few. And you get that sugary, delicious strawberry, crunchy sugar syrup at the bottom. Oh, it's so good.
Damn. Yeah. And now we know.
Yeah. So you all can macerate pretty much any berry that way. Go macerate yourself when you get an opportunity if you want to. Just macerate all over the place. It's delicious and it's sweet and everyone will enjoy it. It's the only macerating you can do legally.
It keeps getting worse. Oh, this episode is going to be like 5 minutes long with everything I have to take out.
That's staying
shit.
in. Education on maceration. Maceration education.
Stop.
.gov. So Andy grabs the box and runs off into the living room and opens it up, and it's a good guy. And so Karen wants to know how it works. So Andy just pulls that bitch out of the box and puts it down and screams in its face, "Hi, I'm Andy."
Jesus, kidding.
So then we get introduced officially to Chucky. And the Chucky doll says, "Hi, I'm Chucky. I'm your friend to the end. Heidi ho. Ha ha ha." Yep, lives in my head all the time. I love these movies, obviously. So then we get a nice quick cut back. Karen's at work, working her night shift, and Maggie is watching Andy. She's in the other room, kind of doing her own thing. I think she's doing dishes. And Andy is watching cartoons and then puts on the news. And we get a little brief news broadcast about Charles Lee Ray, the Strangler, being gunned down and murdered in an explosion in a toy store. And that
comes on right after the cartoons.
Yep. That there's one other person still on the loose. Well, then Maggie lets Andy know it's time for bed. Andy informs Aunt Maggie, well, Chucky wants to stay up and watch the 9 o'clock news. She says, yeah, well, that's just too damn bad, basically. Like, go to bed.
That's
go brush
too
your
damn bad.
So Andy goes to brush his teeth, and she yells to the other room, "Are you brushing your teeth?" He says, "Yes, Aunt Maggie." And then the TV turns on, and she looks in the living room, and Chucky's just seated in a chair watching the news. Because
he wanted to watch the news, damn it.
Yeah, he said he wanted to watch the 9 o'clock news. Nobody tells Charles Lee Ray no. And that is a continuing theme throughout all of these movies. He does not take no for an answer, ever. So she kind of roughly, if I'm being honest, puts Andy to bed. I don't...
Yeah,
different times.
It also doesn't help with the fact of like the way she also grabs Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you can see a lot of the anger and frustration through that.
Yeah, it's the way she's walking with Chucky. It's like punching down at the ground because like he's very violently moving up and down.
His
his
arm is like almost at the seam. It's just pulling.
Yeah. So she puts Andy in bed and basically threatens him, and then says goodnight. Gives him one of those like over the shoulder looks, which is just, man. Imagine being a kid and then just having the adult that you love so much be mad at you as they put you to bed, and that's the last thing you see. Like, that's so sad.
But what could be worse was it disappointment.
I mean,
I think for her it was just mad.
Yeah, it was just mad for sure.
But disappointment sucks.
So Maggie goes back into the living room. We get her watching a movie. I have no idea what movie it is. I didn't even bother to look it up. I've watched this movie a bajillion times and I have no clue, and I don't even care because she's also reading. Like
that was like putting on the TV and then scrolling on your phone before it was a thing.
Yeah, except I feel like there's a difference. At least with me, I can't read with other things happening unless it's just instrumental music. There can't even be like vocals. Now, I can't do it in silence or I'll fall asleep.
Damn.
Yeah, I'll knock out so fast too. Well, then she hears something. We see something run behind her. So she says Andy, she gets up to go check. We hear more noises, and then she gets startled by the phone ringing, which is Karen calling to check in on her and Andy.
Gonna be completely honest, that made me jump too, because it was fucking loud.
Yeah. Karen asks if she's okay, and she says, yeah, I think I just have the Alone at Night Willies, which is, what?
That's the name of my pop punk band.
Alone at Night Willies.
Yeah.
I love it. The logo is just like a punk rock penis doing like a skanking move.
He's got checkerboard shoes on, don't worry about it.
Yes, perfect. I was thinking more Docs, but I like the Vans slip-ons instead.
Yeah. All I'm hearing, however, is now Superman by Goldfinger in my head.
It's a good song. Good song.
And it works even better in Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Anyway.
Yeah. Mike Herrera, the lead singer of MXPX, has been covering that a lot recently, and apparently they did it at a couple of their shows. So right after she hangs up the phone with Karen, something falls on the floor, and we realize that it's flour. A thing of flour has fallen on the floor. Baking flour, for those of you who have never seen this movie before. But she goes to clean it up, and as she's sweeping it up, she hears something. We don't see what it is. She does. And the hammer from the good guy set hits her in the head, and she dramatically walks an entire 10 feet backwards out of a fucking window and to one of the best Fallout window shots ever. Like,
it's really good.
No CGI in this, but she falls out a window and falls into a car, like just dead. Like, I love it. Every time I'm like, it sucks Maggie's dead, but at the same time, it's such a cool death. So then we are introduced again to Detective or Mike Norris, Officer Mike Norris.
I can't remember the actor's name. He looks so familiar though.
Yeah, he was in a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
So Mike Norris is there investigating the murder. Karen gets home and the cops are like, you can't go in. And she's like, I fucking live here. And she just pushes her way through, gets in there. And I mean, the short and skinny of this scene is Mike thinks Andy did it. Yep. Like, yeah. We got a footprint that's way too small to be an adult, and it has very specific patterns in it. So he kind of slyly tricks Andy to see the bottom of his good guy slippers, and they're fine. And Andy overhears that the killer walked through flowers, so there would be flour on the bottom of the shoes. And Andy's in bed. Chucky's sitting in the chair. Andy's looking at Chucky and then realizes there's flour on the bottom of his shoes. And he's like, wait a second, bolts out of the room. And it's our favorite thing ever. He tells the adults who did it. And the adults do what now?
They don't believe him.
Yeah, they don't listen to the kid. Oh,
Jesus
man.
Christ. I mean, honestly, I don't even know what I would do in that situation. Because, like, I'm not expecting a doll to be getting up and running around and hitting my, like, friend out a fucking window.
I mean, okay, logically, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't, obviously you'd be like, all right, kid, whatever. But at the same time, you're a detective. Kids say things and make connections to make them make sense to them. So, like, they'll say one thing that has nothing to do with the thing they're trying to talk about. So it could have been like, the killer had red hair. That's the connection. He looked like Chucky. But as a detective, I felt like he should have been like, well, why do you think Chucky did it? Which was never a question that was asked. He just pushed the kid aside and was like, yeah, all right, good, cool story, bro. Like, deuces. So, yeah, after he tells the detective and his mom that Chucky did it, that he knows Chucky did it, he does ask why. And he just goes, well, I asked Chucky, and Chucky said Aunt Maggie was a real bitch and she got what she deserved. Which is hilarious to just hear a child say it, and he says it deadpan.
Yep.
The best part about it is it's like, that's what I was told, man. Here's the best part is this is 88. Words like that weren't on TV. So, like, it's not like he picked it up from TV. You know what I mean? Like,
specifically told him.
Literally. And that's the other issue is like, all right, you're telling me your doll did this, and then you're saying this horrendously fucked up thing. Maybe this holds water. Maybe I should investigate just a little bit more instead of just push this kid off as a foul-mouthed, possibly killer. Like, what the hell?
Anyway, what's over there?
Yeah, seriously. So the next day, it's business as usual. Karen's bringing Andy to school and drops him off. We see a few other kids with good guy dolls, which is maybe, potentially, could be a connection. Maybe Andy's birthday is right around Christmas, or maybe this was just supposed to be like this is the new thing, like all the kids have good guy dolls, so we're just going to show all these kids with good guy dolls.
There was also that Good Guys commercial that was on earlier, like on the TV, that was the cartoon that Andy was watching, so it could have come from the cartoon, and it's the hip new thing.
Yeah. I mean, that,
if you don't have a good guy, you ain't nobody.
Yeah, that cartoon, or not the cartoon, but the commercial is horrifying because it's like a person in a suit. A giant good guy suit.
Not about it.
Nope. So Karen drops the kid off, doesn't necessarily like make sure he gets into the school. Again, the 80s were the wild fucking West.
Yo.
Andy just turns and fucking dips. He skips school. A whole entire toddler, basically. It's just like,
how the fuck did nobody notice this?
It's New York. Like,
But at the same, as somebody who works in this field,
yeah, I mean, it was a different time. I mean, like even the early 90s, man, it was a real different time. Well, Andy makes the trek. He just hoofs it all the way to the subway train and gets on a train and goes somewhere else. Like, that's the other thing. Where did he have money?
I have that note. But at the same point, like, who is on the train and just going, who are you here with?
Yeah. This is
No, I mean, everyone's keeping them fucking selves. Yeah.
It's just, I want to just say it's new because it's New York. It's just like, oh, this is normal. Like, or not my kid, not my problem sort of situation. Yeah. So Andy is whispering to Chucky and the entire time they're on the train and stares at the camera a couple of times. And then they get off the train and they go to this old dilapidated house. And Andy puts Chucky on a chair that's just trash and tells him he'll be right back because he's got to go potty. Goes behind a bunch of trash to take a leak. And we get this really cool shot where it's like through the eyes of the Chucky doll, where it moves off of the chair and bolts across the street at like record pace and into the house. And we end up seeing the guy that he's there to kill, the other person that the police are looking for, his getaway driver who got away and left him to die. So we see the dude inside. He hears a noise. He grabs a gun. He gets up. He's clearly squatting in this place. Mm-hmm. We get to see a good guy doll hand turn on we see the pilot light get blown out, and then the gas gets turned on, which is, all of this happens so quickly that it wouldn't actually happen this way. So it's one of those
movie, Rob.
I know. It's still just
as we griped about last week, Costello's feet being backwards.
Yeah, that still makes no sense. There's a whole bunch of there's noises happening. The dude's shooting at nothing, and then Chucky basically lures him into the kitchen where it's been filling with gas for approximately 2 minutes, which is more than enough time for a single gun blast to blow the house the fuck up. While he's in the house, he's looking around and he almost shoots Andy because Andy's just like waltzing around, yelling out Chucky's name.
Yep.
And where the fuck was he when the house exploded? Because it must have been 20 seconds. He walks by the house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then homeboy walks into the kitchen.
Again, huge fucking explosion in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, literally the entire house goes up. Like,
what's the pyro budget? I want to know.
That was it.
Yeah.
They were like, all right, we need 2 giant explosions. They were like, all right.
Right at the beginning, draw them in the middle of the movie, because why not?
Yeah.
Not even the end, just the middle.
Yeah. So then it cuts back to the police department, and it is Karen running in because Andy was found with the Chucky doll outside, wandering around. They're questioning him again because now this is 2 murders that this child has been around, and they're like, all right, something's off here. And Andy will not let up that it's Chucky. Chucky did this. So much so that he shakes the shit out of the doll. Tell them.
Yeah.
And they bring in a child psychiatrist who says that Andy should be kept and examined, basically, because there's something off.
Yeah.
I mean, not yet. I mean, everything he's going through is definitely going to traumatize him, but this is...
As of right now, he's sane. Don't worry about it.
I mean, he's heard some pretty foul language from a talking doll.
I can only imagine the other stuff that we didn't hear.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Especially some of the things we're about to hear in a few moments.
Mm-hmm. So we get Andy's been taken away. We cut back to Karen and Andy's apartment, and Karen is trying her best. She picks up the Chucky and she's like, talk to me. Like, she's like, is this alive? Is it real?
Does it have some merit with it?
Yeah, and then she realizes she feels fucking crazy, so she puts the doll down. She goes into the kitchen to do some things. She picks up the box that it came in, and the batteries fall out.
It's such a great reveal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all already knew, but it's such a great reveal when you just go, oh shit.
Yeah, it shows the bottom of the box that it says batteries included, which that's not a thing anymore. Like,
No.
I mean, there are some toys that have the batteries included, but those are the toys that have like those watch batteries in them. So those things are fucking expensive. So it just gets tied into the cost of the toys.
Why are batteries so fucking expensive?
Everything's fucking expensive right now.
Yeah.
So at that point, Karen realizes, oh shit, there's something up here. So she goes over and grabs the Chucky, turns it over, opens its back, and realizes the shit doesn't have batteries in it. And she's heard it say its catchphrases more than once at this point in time with no batteries in it.
It turns around and does it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, its head exorcist style turns around and says, "Hi, I'm Chucky." And then she drops it and Chucky rolls under the couch. Which at that point, if it's me, I'm out. I'm not sticking around, man. I'm Audi 5000. I'm out the door.
Hopefully he's stuck in the apartment now.
I'd be barricading the door, calling the cop. I'd be like, "Yo, I need you down here, Norris. Get your ass down here. The doll's alive."
He's real.
Yeah. So, but she doesn't do that. She bends over and looks under the couch, all slow like, and sees the doll and pokes it a couple of times and then grabs it.
She turns on the fireplace.
Yeah.
It's now or never, motherfucker.
Yeah. She holds him up and is just like, "Talk to me now or I'm going to throw you in this fire." And it is the coolest cut because it's all in her face with the back of Chucky's head. And then we get the cut to the full puppet, which is all of the Chucky face movements and hand movements are all animatronic, which was huge for the time. Most movies, if they had animatronics, they would be like partial animatronics and it would only be for a couple of scenes. I mean, granted, this is only for a couple of scenes, but they are for a couple real long scenes.
Yeah.
And I at one point remembered how many puppets they had, and I can't remember now, but it was a lot. Like it was more than you would think. But
that, and there's a little costume too, because someone's running around in a Chucky costume as well.
Yeah, they have a little person who they actually had two. So they had one little person for the initial shots, and then they had a stunt person for a scene that's coming up. So as she's threatening to throw him in the fire, he snaps to life and says, and I quote, "You stupid bitch, you filthy slut, I'll teach you to fuck with me." Oh, man.
Imagine your Cabbage Patch saying that to you.
Yeah. And it's the thing is like now with those words, she goes, "Oh, that's where Andy got it from." All the screaming happens. Chucky bites her. There's a whole there's a whole tussle that happens. And then he just fucking takes off. He runs away.
Dips right out of there. He takes the elevator down. Yeah,
he loves that elevator. His second elevator ride, which is an up ride, is the best thing ever. I absolutely love it.
It's an ugly doll.
So Karen decides that she needs to go find the peddler and find out where he found the doll. She's doing this also against the advice of the detective, who's like, "Yeah, don't
go to that part of town at night. Don't fucking do it. It's not good."
But she needs answers because even still, nobody believes her now. She didn't believe Andy. Now she believes Andy, but the detective doesn't believe her. She's like, "Well, fuck this. I'm not sitting around. My kid's locked up and doesn't need to be locked up now that I know the truth." And so she goes to the side of town. It's this weird like montage where there's music playing and she's talking to people. We don't hear what she's saying. And she's doing like hand motions to motion that he has fucked up teeth and shit. So like,
that's my favorite motion. It's just, It's like fucking no way.
Yeah. So she ends up finding...
he does. Holy shit.
Oh, his teeth are gnarly. All he needs is like a good toothbrush and some fucking dental floss and he'll be fine.
Bling.
Yeah, it's not like he's missing teeth. They're just real gross looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a power washer on his teeth instead.
Oh my God. Smile. So she's now asking the peddler, like, where did you get it? And he's basically just like trying to avoid her. Like, "Hey man, final sale. Like, fuck off." She offers to pay for the information. Like, "I just need to know where you got this." And he's just like, "Well, I don't need money. I need something else." And he attempts to rape her, unfortunately. Yes, I said the word. We don't shy away from things like this on this podcast, unfortunately and fortunately, because these are horrible things that happen to people on a daily basis, and censoring it by calling it anything else is a misjustice to victims that exist out there. So we will never shy away from saying that word. There's help out there. Don't be shy. But just in the nick of time, Detective Norris shows up, pops a cap in his ass, and then just is like, dude, the lady asked you a fucking question. Where did you get the doll? And he then reveals, oh, you know that store that blew the fuck up? Well, I got it from there. And then Norris goes, oh, shit, I was there.
The man who shot Charles Lee Ray.
Yeah, and that's when Norris then tells Karen the story. Like, hey, This is what happened. I was present. Yeah. So Norris ends up taking Karen home. Look, we've got the information. We're going to sleep on this. We'll take care of it later. Just go get some rest. And he drops her off. He leaves. And as he's driving, we're like, why are we still with Norris in the car? This doesn't make any sense. And then, howdy ho, Chucky's in the back seat and tries to choke him out while he's driving.
It's such a long scene of just focusing on like the choking.
Yeah, it's a long scene of focusing on everything that's just at any point in time. At the start of this, he could have hit the brakes, reached back, and just grabbed the doll.
Yeah, like there was a lot of things that happened that didn't need to happen. Yeah.
So there's a ton. The car is speeding. He's still driving the car because it's the 80s, and that was anything bad that happened in any car scene in any movie in the 80s. The car kept going. You kept driving instead of stopping to stop or get away from the bad thing that's happening in your car. No, you just hit the gas. So he does get smart and wise at one point, and he does start hitting the brakes, and then Chucky crawls underneath the seat and goes, nope, and hits the accelerator again.
It's one of the funniest fucking things where he's like, what the hell are you doing? Excuse me, put your foot back on that.
It's so good. So the car crashes, it flips, bing, bang, boom. Chucky takes off. Norris does not get out of the car, even though it's upside down, and keeps firing in a direction. At no point in time does he ever pull the trigger while Chucky is within any range. He's the worst shot ever.
Like Chucky's running around the car, and it's like, Chucky's here. Bang!
Yeah.
Really?
Literally.
You had so many great shots, and this is what you've done.
Chucky also has a knife and goes to stab Norris, and he stabs the side of the car. And then as he's running around the car toying with Norris, he sneaks around and pulls the knife out, and we get this nice little peekaboo where he's just kind of looking around the door at Norris. And yet again, there's too much of a hesitation to fire the gun. Chucky gets away.
Damn you!
Yeah. So now Karen is at Charles Lee Ray's house. She went alone. Norris shows up and scares the piss out of her. She's not listening to anybody. She just keeps taking off on her own. Again, understandably so. She's a dope mom, and she wants her kid the fuck out of that mental ward. He doesn't belong there. But Charles Lee Ray's house looks like an artsy goth kid's bedroom. There's all these paintings.
This scene to me feels like something out of Candyman.
Mm-hmm.
Like the music, the whole voodoo style of the thing, like the paintings all over the fucking walls.
Yeah. So all the paintings are of a naked, half naked Charles Lee Ray basically doing voodoo rituals and worshiping the god.
Yeah. It's like, oh, thank you, Damballa, for life after death is what's painted on the wall.
Damballa is
thank you.
Yeah, Damballa is the god. He's the voodoo chant that he does to pass his human body into the doll is translated. He says it. He says, give me the power, I beg of you. That's what he's saying. Damballa, give me the power, I beg of you.
Gotcha.
But it's just a pointless scene in a sense, aside from the fact that now we know he's deep into the voodoo stuff. Obviously, that's what it was that made his body go, made his spirit, if you will, move from one body to the next.
Yeah.
So Chucky then goes to see the voodoo priest that taught him everything. All of the things that he knows that he's been bastardizing and using incorrectly, and goes to literally ask him, like, all right, how do I get myself out of this doll? Like, I need a body. And
Doesn't he get shot before this? And he's like, why am I bleeding?
yeah, he was shot. Norris shot him.
Yeah.
In the shoulder.
He winged him.
So this is when we find out, which is something that holds true throughout. The longer he stays in anything, especially a fake thing like a toy, it becomes real. So the plastic starts to become flesh, and organs start to grow, and bones start to form. And so he's then informed, he's like, yeah, man, like, you can't, like, that's your form now, unless
Figure it out.
the one loophole is you can pass your current self onto the first person you revealed yourself to. And he's just like, so you're telling me that I have to become a 6-year-old child again? And
He's laughing hysterically.
he thinks it's the best thing ever. And I mean, honestly, for a psychopathic criminal serial killer, I mean, dude, you got a whole new life to live, really. Like, you get
Seriously.
to grow up into that. Then there's
Would
the
he go
downside.
down the same path? Probably.
Probably. I mean, as a doll, he only got more violent, I feel, from...
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. So the voodoo priest then tells him, like, dude, I gotta stop you. Like, I have to. Like, this is... You're bastardized at everything. You don't deserve to fucking live. And that's when Chucky's like, how about, here's my reverse Uno card, and pulls out a voodoo doll of the voodoo priest. And
what is it? You really shouldn't tell your friends where you keep your things?
yeah, you really shouldn't tell your clients where you keep your things. Yep.
Yeah.
And he breaks the leg on the voodoo doll, and the voodoo guy's leg breaks. We get to see it happen. He breaks his arm, and the same thing. Then he stabs him. And I fucking love that knife, by the way. That's the dopest knife.
It's a pretty good knife.
Cool. Yeah.
It's a great kill, too.
So the voodoo priest is dead. And that's when, while Karen and Norris are at his old apartment, they find out, like, oh, okay, so we got to go find this dude who, like, clearly has been teaching Charles Lee all this stuff. And they get there. Too late. He did.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just steps behind Chucky the entire time.
Damn it, he's always ahead of us. Oh, because he knows what he's doing. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, this next scene angers me. And probably not for a reason you think.
So now we get a nice cut, really sad cut, honestly, to the ward where Andy's been being held, which is basically a prison cell. Like,
It really is.
Yeah, it's brick wall, bare mattress. Like, it's not a place that a child should be.
It's got barred windows that look out, and it looks like an apartment complex or condominium that's run down. But also, these windows are fucking huge and open, and it is winter.
Yep, and
it's fucking freezing.
It's good for your brain, apparently, I guess. I don't know.
You'll be walking on cold stone fucking floors, dude. No way.
Yeah.
They're in New York.
So Andy's looking out the window, and he sees Chucky. Chucky is running through the yard, and he starts to freak out, and he's like, what do I do? What do I do? And he runs to the door, and he bangs on the door, and then he runs back to the window, and Chucky's now running up the stairs to get inside, and he loses it. He's like, oh, shit. So he's banging on the door, and he's screaming, Chucky's here, you got to help me, like, get me out.
He's going to kill me.
He's going to kill me, which is so sad. And the doctor shows up and doesn't believe him.
Nope.
And shuts the door, and we get this scene. This is the scene I was talking about, which was like, how do they get this kid to do this? He turns around, and he's legitimately crying, saying he's going to kill me. And like, dude, it is heartbreaking. It chokes me up every time, because he's actually, that's the voice of an upset child. Like, it's not just acting. It's not a child acting like he's crying. Like, it's a kid who's upset. I don't know what they did to that poor kid to get that out of him. But my gosh.
You get no dessert tonight. No!
Right? It's like, I don't know. I hope they didn't torture that kid and like taunt him or anything like that.
Fucking hope not. We're gonna have a real problem on our hands with this franchise in a second.
Seriously. Chucky is inside now, finds Andy's room, swipes some keys, finds Andy's room, and he goes into Andy's room, and it looks like Andy's in bed, and he jumps up on the bed, pulls back the sheet, and nope, it's the pillows.
Surprise,
motherfucker. Andy juked him, runs out the door, shuts the door behind him, and locks the door, locking Chucky in the room.
Pissed.
Oh boy, howdy is he ever. And then he starts taking off down, just trying to get the hell out of there. The doctor sees him. Andy bolts through a door, ends up in the morgue, which why a mental hospital has a morgue. I mean, that's the conditions you're keeping a child in. I'm sure a lot of people are dying. Yeah. But he catches up to Andy, corners him, and like straight up is going to drug him. He's like, all right, I'm just going to give you something so you can calm down. And he's like, no, Chucky's here. I can't. Don't do this. Like, it's not going to end well. But Chucky ends up in the morgue and grabs a scalpel, stabs the doctor in the back of the neck. Thank God. Fuck that guy. And
do you believe me now, motherfucker?
Pretty much, yeah. So he then grabs the electroshock helmet and like puts it on the doctor and just cranks it up to 11, basically.
Yup.
And toasts his face.
I love the makeup effect on this.
It's so old school where it just cuts away, then cuts back, and there's more on him. It cuts away and it cuts back, and he's like more crispy. It cuts away, it cuts back. It's so great.
I love it.
But I mean, that's bare bone budget, the best you can. When all your budget went to 2 giant explosions and some fucking animatronics. So Andy is like he's cornered himself, basically, trying to just like. He's in shock. He doesn't know how to get away. He's fucking terrified. So yeah, then he's killed the doctor, and then we get a cut. We're back in the hotel. Andy's gotten away. He went back to the apartment because his mom told him, if you're ever in trouble, just to come back home. Mm-hmm. So Chucky apparently knows this and also goes back to the apartment and is in the elevator, our second elevator ride, and he's riding up to the apartment. And this elderly couple gets on. The old guy goes, "Oh, some kid left their doll here." And right before they get off, the old lady just goes, "What an ugly doll." The doors close, the elevator starts going up, and you just hear his voice go, "Fuck you." It's so good. Oh, man.
Yeah. I think, because at this point, Chucky has been burned by a cigarette lighter, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, we see that whole peely face thing with that. He's got the bullet hole in him. Yep. I'm sure he's got, I can't remember if he has anything else at this moment, but I'm sure something else is on him.
Yeah. So Chucky ends up in the apartment with Andy, and he knocks him out.
Yo.
Again, utilizing things within the house. He knocks him out with a bat. It's a good guy bat. I mean, he's just using the tools that are built for his hands.
Yeah, use the hammer from the good guy construction set to kill Maggie, knock her out the fucking window.
Yeah, it's utilizing everything's getting a use. It's perfect. So at that time, Chucky's now got Andy. He's starting his voodoo prayer on top of him.
Yep.
And Karen and Norris both show up. Norris immediately realizes the storm clouds. He's like, hold on. We got to get in there. I've done seen this happen before. This isn't going to end well.
It feels like really cut close.
Yeah.
Like this spell goes on for a while.
Yeah. Well, they run in and Karen knocks Chucky off of Andy, and then Chucky takes off, runs around, and cuts Norris in the back of the leg. Then Norris just fucking caps him in the leg. It's like, it's a leg for a leg. You cut my leg, I shoot yours.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah. They end up grabbing Chucky, and they're holding on to him, and they start the fire. Well, Karen wants to throw him into the fireplace again for the second time. They're struggling. Chucky and Karen are struggling and knock over the matches, and Andy is just in shock. And she's yelling at him like, get the match, start the fireplace. And he finally snaps out of it, and he swipes the match a few times, throws it in, the fire starts up, and right at that moment, there's like this quick slowdown and a drop in the music, And Chucky looks at him and goes, Andy, but we're friends till the end. And Andy just looks him dead in the face and goes, this is the end, friend. It's such an awesome line.
Get him, Andy.
Dude, he delivers it so well. It's amazing. They throw him in the fireplace, and he is screaming. Yeah.
He makes quite a noise where it's just...
Yeah.
It's just shaking. Holy shit.
I just imagine Brad Dourif in, like, the recording booth, just, like, losing it.
He's probably arms in the air, slamming against the wall.
I just imagine him, like, grabbing onto something and just shaking his whole body as hard as he can. But this is when we get this really cool little person stunt double that's on fire.
Yeah.
Which is really dope. They crawl over the couch and, like, fall over. And they're on fire the whole time. It's really good.
It's quite an impressive fire stunt, especially for, you know, the amount of takes and, like, long shots they go through, too.
Yeah. Well, the flames go out, and he's just burnt to shit. And they think he's dead. He's not. No. This is one of those, like, oh, the killer's dead sort of things.
Yep.
And then
this wonderful stereotype.
And then he comes back, and then you're like, oh, the killer's dead. And then he comes back, and then you're like, no, seriously, the killer's dead. And you're like, no, he's not yet. It happens that many times in this scene.
Oh,
so
wait for it.
Yeah.
You almost got it. You got to be quicker than that.
He gets up, and Karen shoots Chucky's head off.
Mm-hmm.
The body keeps moving, so she shoots his arm off, then shoots his leg off, then the body falls over, but the head's still talking.
Before he got, like, shot, he kind of reminds me of what Part 7 Jason looked like when they broke off the mask.
Yeah.
It's very, like, melty, wet Jason.
Yeah. It's a good look, though. I like burnt Chucky. I mean, I like the next two Chucky movies, the ends, when he's, like, toward the end of the movie, when he's getting just eviscerated. I love those iterations, too. They're so good.
The second one is really good.
Yeah. Yeah. So then Chucky's head... This is how I'm going to refer to it for the rest of this, is commanding the body what to do and where to move.
Kill him, strangle him, don't let go.
So he commands the body to kill. So at that point, they realize that the voodoo priest had told them, Voodoo John, by the way, I forgot to mention his name. His name is John. But he, in his dying breath, told Karen that they needed to destroy the heart to kill him. And at that moment, Karen realizes, like, oh shit, the heart. That's what John had told us to do. So she grabs a gun and shoots him in the heart.
That's a wrap, folks. Done and done. It was just that easy from the start.
But we get this really cool shot after she does that of, like, she shoots the body in the heart and, like, the whole body, like, flies back cartoon style against the wall. And then it's like an over actor dying, like pretending to die, where it's just like, like, it's just...
It's so cheesy.
Everything's so slow, and it's just like everything's slowly shutting down. It's like, all right, dude, chill out.
I've been shot.
I'm at death's doorstep. Everything is turning black.
Knock, knock. Death, it's me. Please let me in. It's cold.
Oh, man.
And if you thought that bit went on too long, it's because so did this fucking death.
Yeah, it was a bit much.
Yeah.
So then...
It still looked great, though.
The whole ending sequence is just fantastic, honestly. Yeah. Like, I'm normally the one I'll jump in detail-wise, but again, I'd be shocked if somebody was listening to this who's never seen Child's Play before. And if you haven't, as much as we do spoil from opening to closing credits on this, I want you guys to experience the end of this movie whole. Like, go see it, because what I'm telling you is barely scraping the surface of what you've witnessed, because it's so just brutal. It's so good.
Yeah.
But the next scene is them leaving the apartment, and we get a look at Chucky's head still sitting there, and then a close-up on Andy's face as he turns around and stares rather horrified at the direction where Chucky's head is, and then we get a freeze frame, and the movie ends.
Child's Play.
Yep. And that is Child's Play.
I hadn't seen this movie in probably over 15 years.
Wow.
Until you went, hey, you should watch Child's Play because we're going to do the episode. I was like, that's fair.
Yeah. Have you seen all of them? I don't remember if I asked you.
At this point now, I have only seen 1 and 2. I've seen the ending of 3. I've seen bits and pieces of Bride and Seed, and that's it. I didn't even know there was like a curse or a cult until just recently.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
I love the originals, like the first 3, through and through, for them being full-blown horror.
Yeah.
I love Bride and Seed for them being horror comedies, and I love the fact that we took a huge turn. Don Mancini he's written all of these movies, by the way. Nobody else has written any of these. It's just been him. He took Curse and Cult and was just like, all right, let's ground this again. Let's bring this back to what 1 through 3 were. And
something where we can actually think, this might happen.
Oh, yeah. And it gets so dark and it gets so good. But it's even better because he's still aware, like, how silly and, like, dark humor Chucky is, and did not shy away from that when he did the series. So the Chucky TV series is comedic and way gorier than anything he's done. Like, there's more violence and more gore in the TV series than there is in any of the movies. It blows my mind that they were like, we can do more, right? Yeah. We can do more. So they did more. I think you'll really enjoy Curse of Chucky because it's a single house location and it's almost like a murder mystery. It's really good. Yeah.
Okay.
But that being said, that is the first of the Child's Play franchise. My personal top 3's favorite horror movies of all time.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. And so our bloody legend of the week is going to be Don Mancini for keeping this going for as long as he's had been keeping this going. I love the dude for what he does. He created a horror icon that is arguably family friendly. If you own a Chucky doll or you own a Tiffany doll and you have kids in the house, they're just like, they're just dolls. Like they
the amount of kids that know who Chucky is, and they like, it's Chucky. And it's like, why do you know that?
Yeah.
Oh no.
They know it just because it's there. I hope no parent is showing some young Child's Play, but...
Well, I mean, I was shown some of these movies at a very young age, and look how I turned out.
Yeah, it explains a lot.
Yeah. It does. So, for this week, I have a question for you, Rob.
Uh-huh.
How many falling out a window babysitters out of 10 would you give this movie?
10,597, 69, 666.
This man keeps breaking my fucking rating system. God damn it, we have it for a reason. Respect the rules.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's, at least when it's our choice of the movie from our top 3s, there's no question. They're going to be 10s pretty much across the board. Yeah. This movie is, in my opinion, it's perfect. Depending on when you're watching it and how you're watching it, sometimes the movie feels like it's like 30 minutes long. There's other times where I'm like, is this a 2-hour movie?
The fuck? Jesus Christ.
The runtime is like an hour and 27 minutes. Like, it's not a long movie. It's an easy watch for a horror film. And it doesn't drag anything out. I think that's the best part about it is everything gets answered, and the ending is sort of left open-ended. That freeze frame makes you go, there could be another one.
And lo and behold.
Here's a hell of a lot more. So, Jason Michael, how many falling babysitters smashing into cars beautifully out of 10 do you give it?
My rating for this one, I remember watching Child's Play over again like 15 years ago, not entirely knowing what to do with it, but at the same point, kind of not thinking much of the character because, I had the Jasons, I had the Michaels, I had the Freddys, and those are pretty much who I had. And them versus a doll never really seemed like a competition to me. Upon rewatching it and starting this franchise, I'm very excited to see what is actually going to happen in this franchise now. Like, I'm looking forward to it. Again, We'll get to 2. I'll tell you my feelings on that one. But originally I was thinking when you said Child's Play, I was thinking I was maybe going to give it a 5. I think I'm going to give it a 7.
Dope.
I don't want to say it's a bad 7 though. It's not really any reason why it's that bad, but at the same point, it's like, I don't think I would choose it over a Halloween or a Friday or a Nightmare, personally.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like Child's Play definitely isn't for everybody. I don't know many people who love the Child's Play franchise. Like,
yeah,
at least not personally. I know people who are like, yeah, they're good, they're fun, but that's about it. Like,
yeah,
I've never met anyone who loves these movies as much as I do. So, I mean, 7, I feel like anything over a 6 is a good rating, in my opinion. 6 is me being like, I'd feel like an asshole giving this a 5.
I was almost the asshole.
Yeah, but that's my rating. Well, there you go, folks. Let us know what your rating is. We'd love to know. Do you love the Child's Play franchise? Especially after 3 when it just goes to Chucky titled things?
Mm-hmm.
Let us know.
When I tell kids, like, hey, that's a Child's Play, and they're like, no, it's Chucky. I'm like, oh, sweetheart, no.
Oh, baby honey, no.
Oh.
All right, before we jump into our thanks, why don't we do a little spoiling for next week for the Jason Michael month?
So for next week's episode, taking a complete left turn out of nowhere, we are going to start a franchise breakdown, starting with the main 3 episodes. I know we already did an episode on this, but it was Rob and one of our good friends, Greg. We are going to be talking about the Conjuring movies 1, 2, and 3. Not diving into Annabelle's or Nuns or La Llorona or anything like that yet, but we're doing it with one of my good friends and coworkers, Christine. So she'll be with me to talk about Conjuring 1, 2, and The Devil Made Me Do It. So the Conjuring 1 with Christine next week.
And just for future notice, for all you listeners out there, when the Conjuring universe movies come up, you're not going to hear my voice on any of the episodes. It's always going to be Jason Michael with a guest. I refuse. I refuse. But yeah, so Conjuring stuff is going to be Jason Michael's bag. He's going to take over on those things. Maybe
I've only seen the first one. It's the only one I've seen. None of the offshoots.
There you go. Yeah, maybe I'll jump in with you on La Llorona. Because I did enjoy it. So,
and then he's gone. Woo!
That's enough of that. Let's jump into some thank yous. You have anyone you want to thank this week?
I would like to thank the normal people of Rob, you friend, once again, making me watch movies that I either haven't seen or haven't seen in over 10 years. Like Blair Witch, hadn't seen it in over 10 years. Fucking Child's Play, hadn't seen it in over 10 years. Again, I am a very specific horror fan with certain slashers and Universal monsters, and I am very, very close to that. But taking these steps out in different directions has been such a blast, getting to know these movies and getting a bigger repertoire than I originally had. So thank you, Rob, for that.
Hell yeah.
My wonderful missus over in England, she is recovering from a procedure, a normal thing, and she has been having quite a day today. So just want to give a little extra love her way because she has been having quite the friggin' day. But she's very supportive always, and it is just very supportive of any side hobbies or anything like that. That's the 2. There's the 3rd one, which of course, and he's helping out on the Feisty Cheese side of things as well. Mr. Cyrene is a constant in any streams. Unfortunately, we tried a few weeks ago. We tried to do some Phasmophobia, but that was at the time of we had a shit snowstorm up here in the New England area, and in the Carolinas, he didn't have anything fucking better. It was just windy, heavy pouring rain. Like you could hear it through the game. So
yeah,
no matter how
to watch you guys.
Yep, you scared the shit out of me a few times.
Yeah, I saw what you were playing, and I was like, I'm in here to scare these guys.
Bastard. But yeah, no matter if it's a flop or if it's really fun or if it's just a one-off thing, Mr. Cyrene is always there to assist, as well as my other brothers, Tim and Doug. They are fantastic. And so
Boo Boys.
Your turn, Rob.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you again. I know this recording's been these run long now, but your editing has been dope. It's great. We're getting a lot of positive feedback, which is amazing. Again, always need to thank my lovely partner for reposting our posts and getting the word out there and telling people. She's got clients who like horror, and she's like, "Hey, check this out," which is always nice.
Shall I put this on while I cut your hair?
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh, that would be crazy. We also got to thank, per usual, as always, Anna over at Willow Tree Kitchen. She's our lovely sponsor. She's an amazing baker. She's just a master of vegan sweets. Whether you're a vegan or not, you're going to enjoy what she makes. That isn't even a
consumer
joke.
of meat, I agree. It is very fucking good.
So just take a chance. Go over to willowtreekitchen.com and order some cookies, man. You won't be disappointed. And if you are, then you're wrong. But thank you, Anna. You rock our socks. We are looking forward to seeing what comes out this year. Oh, man. We're so amped for some new treats.
Ready for this.
Until next week.
Until next week, Rob.
Sleep tight, suckers. You fucking bitch. I'll fucking kill you.
Damn it! I wanted to do that.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Spoiler Sleepover. But the fun doesn't stop there. Go follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Spoiler Sleepover. And be sure to check out our website, www.spoilersleepover.com, for more. That would be really fantastic of you. So until next time, sleep tight, suckers.
Spoiler Sleepover is sponsored by Willow Tree Kitchen.
Willow Tree Kitchen is a one-woman owned and operated bakery currently slinging delicious vegan cookies, mixes, and baked goods out of Kitchen Local in Amesbury, Mass.
Follow Willow Tree Kitchen _ on Instagram or go to their website at willowtreekitchen.com for more.